just opinions, so don't take it personally. Just because we don't like it, you can still be happy. Enjoy what you like, you're an adult. Yeah. BWN Productions, mask plus props and costume work. If you want a monster name, contact BWN Productions. Fast custom shirts, hundreds of t-shirts, all at reasonable prices. If you need custom work, contact Fast Custom Shirts. Grab a cold one and get ready for the show. It's intended for mature audiences because we kid and joke. Boy God is here and so is Tom and Joe.
Can't believe it, Joe. Another week of just two guys talking with no video clips of the movies they're talking about or anything. Just a guy with a shitty voice and an old fart, Joe.
Yep, an
It's
old.
gonna be a hell of a show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Tom. Just working in a coal mine.
Going on down. Yeah, shout out to the Hordecast. We got them with us tonight. Thanks for joining us as always. And I always appreciate the shout outs you guys do for us. Thank you. How was your week? Anything worth a fuck?
Let's see. Of course, it was filled with work, and work is worth a fuck. Hope it keeps coming in. I am getting further and further behind, so I'm gonna probably be working this weekend. And I've been working late nights, but hey, that's what you got to do. I went, Tom, to the Muses of Romance author convention, author con, yeah. And this is a bunch of authors that specialize in romance, Tom. And some of it, I guess, is romance. As one old lady came up and asked me, which are the authors that do closed door romance? You
Is
might
that
want
like fucking and sucking books?
You might want to talk to that lady over there, because I'm not really sure, who does what. That's what I would have thought, but it turns out, because I looked it up afterwards. What is closed door romance? And the whole fucking Google machine has it all, and it said, well, that's mainly like a romantic novel, and it might have some interludes where there might be some sex, but it's very discreet. It's not talked about a lot. And open door romance, I guess there's a lot more scenes like that. And yeah, some of these women, they just, they do what they call spicy romance, Tom. And that's, yes, what you just said, a lot of fucking and sucking. And, I don't know, there's a story in there somewhere too.
I would have figured the open door romance would be like the thing where like the dude comes home and he's seeing noises, and then he opens up the door and a black fella's plowing his wife, so he starts whacking off.
See, I would thought that open door romance is like, yeah, come on in, join the party, but I don't know. This is like a world that was different to me. I was I guess except maybe for two of the author's husbands, I was the only male, or at least identifying male in attendance. I'm not really sure. That's not my world either. So, I didn't really want to talk to anybody because I was afraid to say anything offensive,
So you didn't fucking crush any gas or fucking crack?
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
You didn't tug on a lady's pecker from behind?
Sold some shirts is all I did. You know? I did all right. I did about what I thought I was going to do, a little less than I thought I was going to do, but enough
Well, I can tell the number for tax purposes.
to make a profit. You know, I made a little bit of a profit, which I'll be able to show that on my records. They'll know what I made, Tom, because yeah, all those sales were taxable, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you drinking there? Root beer?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Good old what is this? St. Arnold's. You know they do a root beer, right?
They do. It's not that good.
Oh, well, this ain't it.
Nah.
But yeah, you know, and after that, I went over to like an East Texas little town and went and saw a friend of mine, you know, and hung out in his little shed and watched movies.
How was that?
It's a pretty good time. Pretty good time. A lot of laughs. You know, had a slice of pizza and something else I ate there. I don't remember. Some cake, some banana bread.
Did you go on any roller coasters?
Yes. I went on a few roller coasters because he had a VR setup thing. Got to do some roller coasters, you know.
How was that?
You know, some were okay. Some of them were just, you know, VR.
Yeah. The mushrooms probably helped, but
Well, I don't think I had them at that point, but yeah, they helped a lot.
So yeah, it was Joe came over to the old shop and crashed there for the night. Watched a few movies. For some reason my YouTube algorithm was spitting out fucking like attraction shit in Dubai, like fucking Arab theme parks and shit.
Yeah, I get
Crazy.
there, and Tom's watching a thing on SeaWorld in some Arabic country or something. You know, it's like strange, but okay, that's what Tom watches, you know.
It was strange because those fucking animals weren't wearing burqas or anything, and I thought that was something they had to do or they would be shot or stoned in the streets, Joe.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to the promised land, that's for sure.
Fuck. Man, you're a fish. You're like a guy fish, and you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking go into this den of octopi and blow it up. And oh man, I'm gonna get these 92 fish virgins when I get to fish heaven. And then he gets to fish heaven, and he gets those 92 fish virgin, Joe. And then he's like, I wasn't thinking about the smell. That's a lot of
From
fish. Because that's a lot of fish, you see.
The old twists of EC Comics, you see.
Oh, but I had all this time to read. Fucking pricks. Oh, I can't wait to go back and rewatch all the Twilight Zone episodes.
Well, let me know when you do that, because that I might watch.
No, this is going to be like the late 90s, early 2000s one.
The Forrest Whitaker one?
Or was that Outer Limits?
No, they did a revival of Twilight Zone in the 80s and the 90s. I think the 90s one only did one season, though. And then they had one like 4 or 5 years ago.
I might be thinking of Outer Limits.
Yeah, because they did that on Showtime.
Oh, everybody has psoriasis, but they're really being protected from an alien invasion or some shit. So, no, it just kind of hurts and makes my asshole itch. But I'm not protected by any alien things. Thanks, Outer Limits. Fucking pricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you came over and we had a giggle fest like a couple of fucking bitches. Good times.
Just some laughing. My eyes were watering. They also stopped watering, at least one of them. Like my right eye wouldn't stop watering on the drive home.
That's not good.
Called a side effect, I believe.
From hilarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good shit. Hey, shout out to everybody who checked out the Trailer Park Boys video. Glad everybody's digging that shit. For some reason, it threw it out into the algorithm, and everybody's loving it. So thank you for that.
Trailer Park Boys have a huge following, Tom. It's all those Canadian YouTubers watching. Yeah.
They're nothing. They're nothing to us, Joe.
No, he guesses in blackface. What a racist. He's done it 3 times.
Now, let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
You like movies?
I've watched a few movies here and there, Tom, when time permits.
Let me ask you this, Joe. If you like movies so much as you claim, you ever seen the hit motion picture, The Demon Baby?
I have, Tom. I believe I had that in a set. The made or it came from Hong Kong set, maybe? Something like that.
I don't know. Rewind this video and look and see what the cover said.
Okay.
Well, Joe, this is pretty much exactly how you described it when you talked about it oh so many moons ago. It's one of these old-timey Chinese movies where they're dressed like, old Chinese wankers or whatever. And I guess it takes place on a rich guy's compound. I don't think he's the king or the ruler of the land. I think he's just a rich guy. He has like 5 wives. He kills one of them. She comes back for revenge and impregnates the other wives to have demon babies. Sometimes it looks okay. Other times it looks like a haunted house prop. There's a couple. Other times it's another one. There's a reason it's on a set of 3 of these fucking movies, Joe. It was fine for a watch. There's like some wacky whipping tentacle action. But it's I'll never shop here. I will, but I'll never watch this again.
Probably
It's a
again, huh?
fucking pricks. But yeah, it's another one. There's some okay monster stuff and it doesn't look fucking great. The shit that shoots out like venom tendrils or some shit, that's okay, but I don't know. It's another one. After this fucking Stephen Chow and Mr. Vampire, whatever the fuck shit comes in, I'm taking it easy on these Chinese things. Had the year full of fucking Chinese masterpieces, and I think all the great ones I have seen. So few and far between, Joe.
Next, he's going to watch Taiwanese movies.
No, that's all kind of Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees. They're all lumped into the same category.
Yeah.
Crisp.
You done talking about that?
I mean, you already talked about it, so I'm not going to clip the shit.
Okay.
It's like it's the same thing. There's not a whole lot to fucking say. It's just the old-timey Chinese romping around, and there's like everyone's fucking pregnant and that's whatever. Like, it's not a complete piece of shit. There's like, oh yeah, you can watch that. It's all right, but it's not like, oh, fuck me running, dog. This little baby came out and went and fucking cooked everybody dinner and then killed them. It was fucking crazy. Can't believe it. 8 million stars. It was shot so beautiful.
There you go.
It wasn't, though. It was just okay.
So, Tom, I watched a movie called Aporia, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, well, anyway, this one I think I watched on the Disney Channel, because we have Disney, because Lisa got it in a bundle of some shit. So we have these, streaming services, and I feel like obligated to find something on each one of them to watch. So I just go down the line. And Disney was always the hardest one to find shit on. But now, like, if you have Disney, you pretty much have Hulu, because they have all the Hulu shit on Disney, which is, well, doesn't that hurt the fucking Hulu subscription a little? I don't know. I'm not a business streaming man, so I don't know how that works. But this is the first one that I saw that, like, hey, this is only like a little over an hour, or like an hour and 20 minutes or something, and it's about time travel. Let's give it a shot. All right, Tom. So this movie is about a lady that just, man, her life's shit, man. Her husband was killed by a drunk driver, Tom. And since he died, she's having to work a lot, and her daughter, their daughter, well, she's kind of given up on shit. Her dad was a scientist, and that's what she wanted to do, be a science lady. But, she's like, well, fuck science now. Fuck everything. Fuck school. So she's having trouble, raising the kid, dealing with this, dealing with that. And she's talking to her husband's buddy, and he is I guess, a refugee. He used to be a big science guy in the country. We'll just say it's Afghanistan or one of those countries. But when the regime came, they killed all his family, and he had to flee the country. So here he's driving an Uber. Can't be no science guy here. Hell no. He tells her, hey, look, there's something your husband and I were working on, because he was, like I said, a big science guy too. And goes to this room and shows like this big motor, this engine that they were working on. He goes, hey, so what we're doing was this thing can go back in time and kill people. It can only go so far. But, I've looked, and the guy that, ran into your husband, that killed him, drunk driving and such, well, we can kill him before that happens. She thinks about it, and she's seen the guy in court, because their court date keeps getting postponed and everything. And she's like, well, yeah, this guy's just a piece of shit. Looks like he's abusive to his family, and, and finally decides, yeah, the world would be better without him. Okay, so they do it. She goes back home, and there's her husband, and her daughter's back to being normal, or the way she was before. Like, everything's cool, she's just so happy. There's a few differences here and there, Tom. Like at work, she seems to have a better position than she did before, and well, she says, well, fuck it, it's great. Okay, I got my husband back. I can deal with whatever small changes are in this world. But then she starts thinking, I wonder how this guy's life, how that affected it, because he had a family too, but they were estranged, divorced. We'll just say divorced. Okay, so he would kind of harass his ex-wife. Well, in this reality, Tom, because that's what she did, she changed reality. That wife is working at a restaurant. She's just a waitress, and the daughter, I don't know, has some kind of sickness or anything, and they can't take care of themselves, because this guy, even though he's a piece of shit, he was providing for them, and yeah, so she starts to feel bad about that. It's like, well, what if what if we went back in time and did this, killed this other person? And well, the reason the guy had made this thing, he wanted to make it more and more powerful so where he could go back and kill the dude that orchestrated his family to kill. But it's not that powerful yet, Tom. They do this shit again, and this time when her and her husband go back home, they don't have a daughter anymore. They have a son. And they don't even fucking know this kid, because to him, reality hasn't changed. But to them, they remember their past, but they don't remember this fucking kid. That's like, how are we going to raise this kid? He's already 14 years old. How, what the hell do we know about him? And so the movie, just asks a lot of questions, Tom. Some philosophical questions. What would you do? What would be the right thing? How many realities can you erase before you just fuck things? How many Spider-Mans are there out there? I don't know. It's an okay movie. It's pretty good, but it's just a small movie. It's not gonna excite the Star Wars crowd, because that's what they think science fiction is. That's not science fiction. That's just fucking adventure set in space with swords.
Swords.
Yeah, I liked it. I'll never watch it again. I saw it. It was entertaining. If you're sitting around with nothing to do, throw on old Aporia, give it a watch, or don't. Who gives a fuck, But I know in another reality, you watched it and you really liked it.
So what did you say that the daughter had?
I don't remember, man. She was dying of something. MS. Can you die from MS?
Well, never mind. You said a specific word. It's all right, though.
Yeah, it's the sclerosis, but, not just one of them. You got multiple of them.
And that's always rough.
Yeah, if you just have one, that's no problem. But you got a bunch.
Manageable, as they say.
Yeah.
Then you get those multiples. How many multiples? 8, 12, I don't know.
It's like it could be a whole multiverse of them. Yeah, Aporia.
Oh, man. I am fucking thrilled that I feel ecstatic about being here tonight, Joe, because I have a Blu-ray review of the hit motion picture Rumpelstiltskin. Woo! I guess he's a ghost now. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's get this bullshit out of the way.
That's nice.
We got this giant box, which I'm not going to throw because it'll probably crack a monitor. Have the poster, which is different because up there it says, Ultra HD release. And the other ones, I think it said like theater and home video. I might actually hang this up because I got some nostalgia for this poster, even though the movie's okay, which we'll get to. That poster was fucking around everywhere in the video stores at the time of its release. We also got this little book. There's like essays and pictures in it. Another fucking slip cover. Again, this shit's kind of hard, so I'm not going to throw it. And then we got that classic art right there. And it is reversible. Unfortunately, it's not clear, so get fucked, I guess. 4K Blu-ray CD in here. I think this came with a postcard, too. I shipped it to Uganda, and I said, hopefully you guys have eBay and you can sell this when it's out of print to get some fresh water. So hopefully that works out for him, Joe. If not, I'm sending my thoughts and prayers.
They probably already made a statue of you, you know, and
I mean, they need a lot of mud, and I know they need that for other things. So hopefully they used it a little more wisely. So Rumpelstiltskin. What's the movie about? Well, it's about Rumpelstiltskin, you stupid fucking idiot. That's the name of the movie.
and here's
Excuse me? So, Rumpelstiltskin, he's an old-timey 1400s crippled up goblin fuck. And he steals babies for their souls. What's he gonna do with their souls? Put them in him. Because he doesn't have a soul. Why? I don't know. Maybe he sold it to the devil for some booze. That's what I would do if I was a crippled up goblin fuck. But I'm not. I'm a giant. So unless there's any beanstalks, I think I'll be okay, Joe. So we're in the 1400s. Old Rumpelstiltskin's running away with a baby, and then the neighbor landlady from Third Rock from the Sun throws some magic wish dust at him or some shit, and he turns into a testicle. And somebody picks up said testicle and throws it into the ocean. And then we flash forward to the 1990s, the gay 90s, as it was called. And this testicle is found at an antique shop. A lady whose cop husband was just killed in the line of duty and has a newborn. She says, "Oh, this is a nice looking testicle. I'd like to suck it since I don't have my husband's balls to put in my mouth anymore." So she brings that shit home, and she just kind of says something like, "Oh man, I wish my husband was still here," like you do. She didn't say it to the testicle or anything. She just kind of said it by it. And then she went and started crying. Some of her tears fell on the testicle, so that brought it to life. I guess that's a binding contract. Not really. I mean, even to Wishmaster, you got to like wish something at him, not just, "Oh man, I wish my husband was still here," not even looking at the fucking testicle thing or anything. But it doesn't matter. The wish was granted. Her husband comes back, fucks on top of her. He goes to wash up his nut bag, and it turns out it was Rumpelstiltskin the whole time. And now he says, "I want your baby." He talks like one of those fucking broads from the Wild Whites of West Virginia. So now the rest of the movie is them trying to escape Rumpelstiltskin from stealing the baby and trying to find out how to kill him. I like it. I probably liked it the most this time around that I watched it. I always thought it was all right, kind of on the tame side, but a lot of these gimmick horror movies of the time kind of were. We talk about Jack Frost all the time and how I like that. And with some kills and shit, it could be fucking better, but I still like it. And Leprechaun, the dude who directed this, directed Leprechaun too. Or I should say the original Leprechaun as well. So yeah, if you like gimmick 90s horror movies, this is, well, of course. But this is a staple of them, I guess you can say. As for the Blu-ray itself, there's a new commentary track. It was all right. They were all joking and having a good time. It was a lot of dad jokes and just good-natured ribbing and stuff like that. Two making of documentaries where it's just talking head shit, but they were all right. I liked them. Jim's name popped up again because he fucking shoots all these things, so shout out to him. And I think at the end of one of them, he runs in like you see him on camera for a minute. So good for him. He's a big fucking star now.
Well,
What else is what's up?
well deserved.
Trying to think what else is on here. Behind the scenes, like a bunch of behind the scenes footage. There's a CD with music and probably pornography. Not 100% sure on that, but maybe. I didn't watch it. It's a solid release. I ordered this when it was first announced, and you had to put in like a little password to get to their site, Terror-Vision, that is, to access this to order it. And this was the cheapest option at $50 shipped. Not long after I ordered this, well, they had another one too with like sunglasses and a bib and 3 books. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that shit. This is even a bit much for me, but yeah. Um, I mean, it's a nice sturdy box. It's a nice sturdy slip cover. I don't give a fuck. And soon after they announced, oh yeah, we're putting out a standard edition too. And I looked and saw how much the standard edition was, and that was like 35 plus shipping. So $50 shipped, you got it already. That's fine. But if they would have released all the releases at once, I definitely just would have got the standard, no slip cover, straight up, just the fucking Blu-ray. So yeah, I mean it's a solid release. I'm tired of saying, oh, too much, and I'm still buying them, but I guess this is just the new norm and what this shit fucking costs now. I don't know why 24.99 you can't do that for, a Blu-ray, a new Blu-ray release, but 30's a bit much for something is going to be garbage. Not saying this is, but Crack House keeps popping up into my head. Well, yeah, that was a fun movie and I liked it, but jump in a fucking lake for $30 plus shipping for that fucking shit for real. But this one's cool. Again, the price, but you can get it. A couple years ago, I had a feeling this was going to get released, so I sold my fucking DVD copy for like $70. So I can't bitch too much because I got this and $20 for my DVD. So,
Yeah.
but again, that was fucking years ago, and I probably spent that money on crack cocaine. So this was new money. Anyways, I would recommend it. It's solid. It could have been my player. I didn't have time to recheck it on another player, but the audio of the lady talking drops out for a second. There's a scene where a car breaks down and the talk show host pulls up on her and she's talking, and it seems like her dialogue drops out for a second. So I fucking can't wait for the replacement disc, and then I'll have a fucking 4 disc set of Rumpelstiltskin that I can fucking shove up my asshole and be the happiest fucking idiot to ever fucking light $50 on fire. Everybody go out, buy this release. It's the second coming of everything, and it'll make you come in your pants as soon as you open your mailbox and see this fucking box. Shout out to the fine folks at Terror-Vision for fucking making everybody who ordered this come in their pants, forcing them to buy new underwear and pants if it's soaked through. God bless us, everyone.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I got to watch a few modern films. This one I missed last year, but I think it was on a number of people's best of the year. I didn't watch it last year, so it wasn't on mine. This film is called Strange Darling. Have you heard of Strange Darling?
You know it was shot on film.
It was, and it tells you that in the opening shot, Tom. Shot on 35 millimeter or whatever millimeter. I don't know. And then a film in 6 chapters. Chapter 3. Oh, all right. So we're starting at chapter 3. This chick's running, you know, she's like got a wound on her fucking ear or something. This guy's chasing her with a fucking shotgun. Oh shit, you know, this guy's gonna kill her. He's crazy. She runs to the woods, finds a little hobo camp, stops and, you know, gets the hobo cigarettes and booze and sits down and smokes a cigarette. You know, I'm like, well, what's she fucking doing that for? If she's on the run from this dude, you know, whatever. You know, she pours fucking booze on the wound. Chapter 1. All right. Her and this dude, they're in a hotel room, you know, or they're outside a hotel room. They're doing some small talk. And it's like, are we going to go in and do some fucking or what? You know, she wants to get kinky. It's like, hey, you need to like tie me up and like, and, you know, just fucking be a man and beat the shit out of me and stuff. And like, he's doing that. They establish a safe word. She says it. Or I don't know. I'm getting the chapters confused, you know. But yeah, you know, so that's role play, whatever. He's chasing her, you know. She's in a car hauling ass and he's shooting at her. She runs off into a farmhouse and he's in that farmhouse shooting at shit. You know, she hides in we don't know what she's hiding in, but he's shooting up everything that could be hidden in. More of this shit, more of that shit. As I'm watching, I go, you know what? This shit's so stupid. I bet you she's the killer. Oh, she cokes up the dude, and you know, it's like, hey, you know, cokes him up, and then fucking gives him some other drugs, so he's just like laying there, and hey, she's a killer. She's gonna kill him, but she takes too long, and he pulls a gun from his ankle or whatever, shoots her. That's why he's shooting her, Tom, because he's getting revenge for her trying to kill him. You know, she's a serial killer, you see, and I don't know. You know, the movie's not bad, but it's not fucking great. And it's not a big surprise. Oh, the twists and turns, the shock. You know, it's the serial killer movie of the year. It's not. I mean, the girl playing the serial killers, she's okay. She does a decent job acting. But I don't know. It's just more trying to be stylish. You know, it's like this guy obviously watched a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies and wants to be Quentin Tarantino. You know, he wants to make those movies of yore that Tarantino made. You know, it's like, oh shit. Oh, that's how that happened. Oh my God, 35 millimeter? Are you kidding? All those millimeters? Yeah, I mean, watch it once and then just forget about it. I'm sure I will. I don't see how it was on a lot of people's lists unless they just don't really watch a whole lot of movies.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all. That title card letting you know that you should love it because it was shot on film was, you know, a big red flag, and the rest of the movie's just up its own ass. It's just, oh, she was the killer. Did you know that? Yeah, pretty early on, dog.
Yeah, it was no surprise. Where else could they go? Right?
Yeah, like what you like. Again, everybody's different and shit, but
Yeah.
nah.
If you think it's clever, hey, that's cool. I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, shit, Joe. I watched I forgot what it was called. It was some little documentary. I don't know what the fuck it was made for. It was turned out something something something, hosted by America's sweetheart Daniel Trejo. And in this one, old Daniel shows up looking like 30 years younger than he does on the cover of this movie. And he says, "Hey, I'm going to tell you what it's really like in prison." And then we go to an Alabama prison and we just talk to the most hayseed fucking people they could find. Like, they know who they were looking for to interview. Everybody in this is talking like Southern Thomas.
Mm,
All of them. The blacks, the whites, they're all talking like this, Joe.
hate it already.
And the documentary is about getting fucked in prison. And, we'll talk about it. But what it all boils down to is these gentlemen are just, they're clearly gay gentlemen. And they're using prison as an excuse to fuck dudes or
Mhm.
get fucked. Like, there's a throwaway line that, should have been expounded upon more and not just something thrown away where one of the prisoners like, yeah, we don't do that. Shit ain't cool. Go around just raping guys. But these guys do.
Mhm.
So there's just stories and they're just talking about it, how it's like nonchalant. It's like, oh yeah, you got your family of boys. You need people who care about you in there. And we love each other. We have feelings for each other. That's just how it is in here. And there was one dude they kept going back to. It's like, yeah, I had all these stables of boys, me and my dog, we were like running it. We had all these boys and we were trying to get a new one and we got him in the shower and he didn't want to do it, but I told him that I would fucking cut him if he didn't. So I put a knife up to him and I said, you take some of this grease and you put it on your finger and lube yourself up. And that was something an old convict told me. He said, if you have them lube themselves up with the grease, they're going to have some grease under the fingernails. So if they try and say anything, the warden will see the grease under their fingernails. No, he wanted that shit. You could just say, oh, I've been fucking that boy for months. So I start fucking him. And he's tight, so I gotta go kind of slow. And then my buddy who's doing lookout, he's like, oh, I want some. So I pull out of him. And then my buddy, he sticks his wiener in there. He's really hurting him. I gotta say, hey, slow down now. We don't want to send him to the hospital or nothing. And the guy's just saying this shit, remembering it like, "Mm, it is fucked." I was watching this shit, and when I wasn't laughing, I was fucking horrified, Joe. Because there's just so many casual stories like that, and it's just all so ridiculous because they're just clearly gay guys. And is I don't know if you heard this, but I've heard this many of times that getting fucked in the ass really isn't the biggest thing you got to worry about in prison. It's more about getting your ass beat. And Twist, of course. At the end, this main black dude we've been following, the one who said, "Oh, you gotta grease yourself up," that guy. He's just a full-blown sissy now, wearing makeup, and now he's the one getting fucked in the ass, Joe. I guess he had enough, and all right, so what's the next thing I gotta do to be able to come now? I guess I'll get fucked in the ass and get traded for soup and shit.
I don't know. if you live a life of crime, hey, I'm not judging. You know, we all do what we got to do to get by. But yeah, that's potentially where you're headed. You know, and prison just doesn't seem like fun. You know, at all. At
Yeah,
all.
no AC and a lot of farts.
Fuck no. No AC. No. Fuck no.
Yeah, this shit, like I said, I laughed a lot. I laughed a lot. They knew what the fuck they were doing. They knew the kind of documentary they were doing, but when I wasn't laughing, I was fucking horrified, Joe. But yeah, every single one of these people they talk to, it's like, oh, it's just a gay guy.
Hmm.
Mm. Except that one who was like, no, man. Oh shit, one of the dudes who was getting fucked, his fucking they interview his family on the outside. His dad's just like, well, I know he has to do what he has to do to get by in there, but you know, if we can just forget about all this when he gets out and just move past that, find himself a nice woman, well, that would be great. And then you pan out, and he's just like in front of one of the most dilapidated trailers you ever seen. And I got an acoustic guitar, and I can sing and strum. So these documentarians knew exactly what the fuck they were doing.
Exploiting.
That's exactly right, Joe. That's exactly right. Would recommend. It's on Tubi of all places. Would you believe it? I never thought I'd find some garbage ass bullshit like this on Tubi. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, Tom, because we're coming up on the end of the year, figured I better start watching my 2025 movies. I watched the hit motion picture Wolfman. Have you heard of this?
Joe, not only have I heard of this, I have seen this. The Lon Chaney Jr. classic.
No, that's the Wolfman. This is
Oh.
Wolf, man.
Oh, with old Benicio del Tortoise.
No, that is Wolfman. This is Wolf, man.
No, I don't think I've heard of this one then.
Yeah, so this one is from the Blumhouse. Um, this is it starts out, you know, when this guy and his son are out on a hunting trip. Well, they live out in the woods and shit, you know, so they're hunting, I guess, for fucking everyday food. But the dad's like really fucking, he's angry, you know, and keeps on scolding his son for this or that. Not paying attention. It's like, you know, what are you doing? You know, hey, it's kind of shitty, but they're out on a hunting trip, you know? There's guns involved and shit. You better fucking pay attention to everything that's going on. You got a gun in your hand, kid. So, you know, most people, they probably would have, God damn, this guy's a prick. I was like, well, you know, teaching them the ways of the world. You know, it's just the way it is. And then there's something out in the woods, Tom, and they go hide in a deer blind. And oh shit, what is that? I don't know, but it's like climbing up the deer blind, Tom, and it's like, oh well shit, it attacked a deer that they were hunting, and it kills the deer, drags the deer off. They go back home. The dad's talking on one of those old ham radios, you know, it's ham. And he's, yeah, well, you know, I think I saw it. You know, it's out there, and I'm gonna hunt it, and I'm gonna get it. You know, so yeah, there's something going on in these woods. Well, fuck that. Let's flash forward maybe 30 years later or something. 25 years, who knows? This kid's grown now, and he's walking with his own daughter, and he gets angry at her. Tom, you know, why weren't you listening to me? He's got these temper problems, you know. His wife comes home and she's a real workaholic, Tom, you know, and he's upset, you know, because, well, he's just upset, you know, and, well, he gets a special delivery, Tom, and what is this? Oh, his dad, who's been missing for a while, has been declared dead. And here's some keys. There's keys to y'all's old home, your childhood home. And he says, hey, you know what? We're going to go and visit my childhood home. You're going to see this grand vista that always made me feel good. And yeah, and our marriage ain't doing too good. And this is just what we need. So they go over there, they're kind of lost. And they see a guy. He's in a deer blind. And they ask him, hey, can you give us directions? Yeah, I know where you're at. Scoot on over. I'll get in there with you. The wife, no, he's got a gun. He's fucking hunting, lady. He's fucking hunting. Of course he's got a gun. Anyway, they're driving out there, and this idiot fucking wrecks, and I don't know. It's stupid. Their fucking moving van is hanging by a fucking tree or something. But during this calamity, they're attacked by something. And it scratches the man in the arm, our main character, and it drags off that hunter guy. What is it? What could it be? We don't know. But they make it to the house, and they hold up there. But the man's starting to freak out. He's doing weird shit. It's like, what? He's starting to hear like fucking Daredevil, like, oh, there's too much noise, because he's getting a wolf man's senses, and all this time that other wolf man is trying to get in the house. Little pigs. He doesn't say that, unfortunately, because that would have been great. Eventually, he makes the turn, the change, and these two wolf men fight it out. And if you haven't guessed already, Tom, that other wolf man is his dear missing papa.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, this is it's trying to make fucking allegorical bullshit towards Matt anger, the anger we have inside of us, the beast that rages within man, Tom. And about familial roles, because the skinny blonde that plays the mom, she's got to step up, Tom, and she does, because there's a scene where she finds a battery, an automobile battery, and she said, well, I can use that for that truck we saw outside. So she casually lifts it up, and walking up. You've changed a battery, right?
I have.
Yeah, those things aren't fucking light. They're pretty goddamn heavy. But I don't know. Maybe this skinny chick is a lot stronger than I give her credit for. There's a bunch of logistical, like, what the fuck? Shit that doesn't make sense. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It wouldn't make a list, because I'm sure I'm going to see some bad shit, but it's forgettable. It's going to be a lot like movies I saw early in the year last year that just, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay. I'd say don't waste your time on it. If you haven't seen it yet, there's plenty of other werewolf movies that you can watch, and those might suck too, but yeah, this is definitely not worth your time. Don't give it the I don't know, the credibility of people watching it, lame.
Well, did the wolf man lick its own asshole for like 3 or 4 minutes straight in the movie at all?
No, and I'm trying to remember, was there a scene where he's just trying to get comfortable to lay down, to where he like is about to lay down, but then, no, let me turn around 5 more times, and now, no, not quite, no, nothing like that.
All right, well, I was just asking because Riley was over here, and for the last 3 or 4 minutes or so while you were talking, she was just munching away at her own butthole. So I tried to like keep snapping and pointing at her while not trying to be distracting, in hopes that she would quit, because all I heard was also now go back through the review and see if the microphone picked it up. It'll be a fun little game.
Keeping it clean. Keeping it clean.
Yeah, I was gonna watch this shit, and then I saw that it was old Blumhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, nah. So I didn't.
Yeah.
And I won't. So I'm guessing the werewolf is that goofy looking old man that popped up.
Yeah, and you know what? It didn't look horrible.
Did they both look like a goofy looking old man when they changed?
Yeah, kind of. You know, they didn't look like what we would consider a wolf man.
They look like one of the wonderful whites of West Virginia.
You know, like Teen Wolf. You know, he wasn't wearing a jacket or anything, because that's how I think. You know, like fucking that was established with I was a teenage werewolf. You know, with old Michael Landon, he was wearing his fucking Letterman jacket too. You know, if not,
Or Michael Jackson.
yeah. How are we supposed to know it's a werewolf if it's not wearing a fucking jacket? That's my biggest complaint, but I can look past that.
I can't, because Michael Jackson was with a lady and he was more of a cat. That figures. Michael Jackson, a cat person. Who would have thought?
Shit.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
How many more do you got, Joe? That's about it.
Beers?
Movies.
2.
Are they the ones that we both watched?
Well, 3, if you want to count our featured movie.
All right, because I think I am out. I'm gay. Yeah, I think I am out of movies.
Well, after watching Strange Darling, Tom, I felt like, you know what? Let me watch a real serial killers movie, one that I know I like, and I have another reason for having watched this, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And that movie is Maniac, Tom. Maniac. Have you ever seen or heard of this?
Joe, not only have I ever seen or heard of this, but I have that Blu-ray or 4K, whatever the fuck it is, in the shop right now that I forgot to grab because I also just finished watching the hit motion picture Maniacs.
So yeah, this is the 30th anniversary Blu-ray edition, Tom. This is before we had a thing called 4K. And this is from Blue Underground, the label owned by the guy that directed this. So yeah, he would want to give this like all the fucking bells and whistles you would want, right? The movie, hadn't seen it in a while, probably since this 30th anniversary edition came out. It's about a guy that's he's a landlord, you see, but he doesn't do much landlording because he's either busy out there killing or talking to his mannequins and dry humping them. He likes to do some killing because it reminds him of his mama, his dear departed mama, who abused him when he was a child, Tom. She was a prostitute, you see. And when he goes out, these women, they remind him of his mama that he loves. He loves, but why, mama? Why'd you do it to me, mama? He scalps them, you know, in an act of cultural appropriation. He scalps these women so his mannequins can have hair on their head, Tom. You know, makes him a little more like his mama, his dear departed mama. Well, he's out there in the park, I don't know, fucking around with kids, and I don't know what he's doing in the park, but some lady takes his picture and it's like, who the fuck was that lady? Oh, I don't know. I'll go, there's her bag. I'll go get her address and just show up at her apartment. Well, shit. Women in the 80s in New York, they didn't give a shit. She show up, hey, come on in. Let's talk. hey, they develop a relationship right away. She's a photographer that photographizes models, Tom, and he goes after one of them models, and then he takes this girl to his mom's graveyard, and he loses his shit there and tries to kill her, but she's tougher than him, Tom, and I don't know. Then he goes home, and the mannequins. He has a dream about the mannequins coming to life and killing him, and then the cops show up. The end. Sounds pretty shitty, but it's not. Really good.
The movie itself, it's all right. Joe Spinell really carries it.
Mhm.
If he wasn't in the movie and it was somebody else, I don't know how well it would do because he really does bring a lot to this movie and the character and the look and the acting in all of the scenes. He's an imposing big guy. He was supposed to be like a shark, and that's kind of like how all the chases are. You kind of see him right there in the music, kind of Jaws like. But he's also a pitiful fuck too. And he's a nut. This is like the stereotypical go out and murder whores serial killer. And you go through that. One It's probably not supposed to be funny, but he murders this one whore and he's just choking her. It's going like he's fine. They're just like laying there, not doing any murdering yet. He's in her arms. They're just kind of kissing and making out. And then he just does the stereotypical maniac howl where it's just like, and then he climbs up on top of her, chokes her to death, and proceeds to go puke in the bathroom. I always fucking laugh when he hops off and pukes.
Yeah, yeah. And there's scenes where he's like out on the prowl, and he's like growling and just kind of like just kind of making noises to himself, lusting after those mannequins he sees in the storefront windows and shit. Yeah, he's fucking great. And this is something that he wrote. He threw his own money onto it too. Yeah, it's just he's good, man. You're right. He sells the movie. He's the reason to watch. And what I like about it is that it's not one of these movies where the fucking serial killers like James Bond, all debonair and shit. Nah, they show you this guy's fucked up. He's fucking disgusting.
A little bit like James Bond, though, if he can clean himself up and pretend he's some kind of fucking business mogul or whatever he's doing to win that broad over.
That's where the movie derails. That whole relationship. That just like that. And the he's talking very different. In those scenes when he's with her, it's it kind of falls out of place for that. It's not a perfect movie. Yeah, people when they get their throat cut, they probably can't yell, or scream.
That first throat cut in the transfer I watched, you can clearly see it's just like a fake blade bleeding and it's not leaving like any cut or anything left. It looks so bullshit now.
But yeah, you're not going to be able to scream. And that scene where he's choking that one, or she's just screaming the whole time. What kind of choke are you doing? You know? Hmm.
Yeah, another one of my favorite parts in here is old Joe or Frank Rizzo. He kills somebody with the biggest letter opener you'll ever see in your life. It's too small to be called a small sword, but it's the right size to be called a giant letter opener. And he just pushes this thing all the way through her. And it's the silliest shit. He washes the blood off in the sink as not to leave any evidence tying him to this murder, but he's cleaning it with like cotton mittens, so all the DNA is soaking into the fucking gloves.
It's bayonet from the war, Tom.
It's a letter opener, a very giant novelty letter opener that he stopped into. He said, "Hey, come see the thing in Arizona," and he did, and he got a novelty letter opener to remind him of the road trip.
Yeah, so this thing, the features on it, and I'm not a features guy. This is some of the best features I'd ever seen. You know, it's like I watched all of these when they first came out, not this time, because I seen them once. I don't need to see them again. There's shit about Spinell. There's shit about the song "She's a Maniac," which was supposed to be a song for this movie.
Does it have the documentary that Dave did about Spinell?
Yeah, I think so.
That shit's really good.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's in here, I think David worked on it. So yeah, this is some good shit.
It's the thing about this movie. I didn't really care for it until maybe 10 years ago. I started having an appreciation for it. I've seen it before then. It really wasn't my thing. But later in life, which I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but later on in my movie watching career is when I appreciated it. And thinking about it now, I don't know how well that this movie is gonna live on. Because while I was watching it this time, I kind of got the feeling that, hey, man, I think if kids or teenagers these days, I don't think it'll hit with them. I think they'll feel the same way I did when I was trying to watch H.G. Lewis movies when I first got into like watching horror and shit. I was like, yeah, these are just a little too old and, a little too of its time and just not for me. So I can definitely see people getting that kind of vibe off of this, but it is worth checking out because, it's just we're getting older and you see people calling fucking movies from the 90s old movies. So this is a little bit before that.
Yeah, it's I think Henry is a much better movie, and I think that one has a lot more staying power. That one is still shocking, even though I've seen it a few times. This one, yeah, there was nothing here that shocked me, but I think, yeah, you're right. You hit it on the head. I don't know that with today or tomorrow's young audiences it'll resonate quite like it is. Hopefully, Spinell's performance will still resonate with them, because it's good. It's really worth paying attention to.
Yeah, I would think more than that because a few years ago when I rewatched it, whenever the new Blu-ray or 4K, whatever the fuck it was, came out, I didn't say, "Oh man, I want to watch a bunch of Bill Lustig movies now." I said, "All right, what other Spinell movies could I find? Let's check out shit like fucking Undertaker and Cruising and shit like that." So, yeah, I would say the legacy would be more of Spinell as an actor than the
Yeah.
actual movie itself.
Yeah, like I wasn't chasing the Bill Lustig movies, but I kind of was because like the Blue Underground label. So I'd go to Best Buy and it's like, well, shit, if Blue Underground put it on, it might be something that appeals to me. So I bought a lot of their shit, and of course, all his shit is on that label because it's his label.
I'm just hoping Riley doesn't come by me and start licking me, Joe. She got up and walked over here, and I was terrified, like I was watching that fucking documentary again.
Well, Tom, why don't you take us through the movie that you introduced me to over the weekend?
Oh, I forgot all about that shit. All right, Joe. Let me take another swig of water here. All right, so a few years ago, when I was watching every Wings Hauser movie I could get my hands on, came to the conclusion that the ones that he directed were the best. And I only had one more left to watch, so I said, I'm going to sit on this and hopefully I don't get hit by a bus. And when there's a rainy day, I'll pull this out of my back pocket and hopefully it will be entertaining and everything it could be. And Joe, it was, and then some. So this is the hit motion picture Gang Boys, aka Skins, and it stars Wings Hauser as an alcoholic ex-cop. He shot an innocent kid in the back, killing him. And Wings Hauser couldn't deal with that shit, so he fled to Mexico and drinks his fucking face off. Meanwhile, back in the States, his ex-wife or baby mama, not 100% sure, their kid is a homosexual and he got beat up by a bunch of neo-Nazis. So I'm pretty sure they had a lady have sex to him too, which he didn't care for, but I think she fucked him so hard that he couldn't walk anymore and he was sent to the hospital. So Linda Blair goes down to Mexico to get old Wings back so they can take care of their child and clean up the streets, but not really, because it's more a story of like Wings Hauser getting his life together and making mistakes, but overcoming the demon alcoholism. And that's really, Riley's licking my arm. And that's really the God damn it, Riley.
Well,
That's
I'll let you have your moment there, Tom.
I'm just here like rubbing my arm on my fucking pant leg.
The movie, yes, it's a redemption story. It's saying that we all have hills that we have to climb.
And in this one, Wings Hauser literally climbs hills.
Mm-hmm. I'm just guessing, but I would say there was a lot of drugs on set. That this movie was fueled by drugs. I know his role is as a recovering alcoholic, but it looks to me like he had a particular drug and it's causing him to sweat a lot. Wings Hauser looks really rough in it. Linda Blair looks really rough. But maybe that's just me just judging their faces because they have a love scene to where we see how fit their bodies are, Tom, that they are very, very much in shape. They are not old looking body wise at all. Because we have some very obvious body doubles for that scene. But hey, at least they can sing. Old Wings Hauser and Linda Blair have a duet on the soundtrack. As we all know, Wings Hauser is a best selling album, record chart topping musician. Yeah, it's a weird fucking movie. Maybe one of the weirdest I've seen. Yeah.
This is Wings Hauser, full Wings Hauser. If you like drunk off the rails Wings Hauser, this is fucking drunk off the rails Wings Hauser. Everything is fucking ridiculous. The dialogue is dated and ridiculous and hilarious. The situation, just everything is fucking ridiculous. Um the fucking I don't know what they were thinking, but the title sequence for this movie, it's fucking like, your title sequence is everybody's name. It's the credits. But for this, they chose to do it like over Hitler speeches. So you see like Wings Hauser, Linda Blair with like Hitler in the background doing all that goofy shit, and all the S's in the text are like that racist S, whatever the fuck that logo is, where I don't know what it's called, but you see it, it's like, oh, that's that fucking racist shit. It's fucking crazy that they decided that was a good idea.
His son Cole Hauser plays the main Nazi guy. I thought he was his son in it, but I was a bit out of my consciousness for some of this movie, Tom. So he plays the main Nazi guy, and yeah, I don't know. That's Cole Hauser. That's his son, his real life son in this thing. Yeah, they do a whole scene where like he's walking through the streets and everybody starts to follow him so they can go take on these skinheads, and
Yeah, the end of this movie, they say, "All right, I'm almost recovered. So let's go get revengeance for my son and everybody else." So it's like the main street of their town, and it just starts with like Wings Hauser walking down the street with a bat. And then it's the stereotypical thing where a couple guys from this side and a couple guys from this side join, looks around, so yeah, let's get, and then more people from this side, and then more people, until the streets are full and you think they're gonna break out and dance, but they don't. There's just a big Nazi brawl that nothing is really concluded because the guy gets away and there really isn't an ending to the movie. Well, there is, because as we said, the point of this movie isn't revengeance on the Nazis. It's, growing as a person and overcoming your demons. And at the end, old Wings gets to move back in with Linda Blair and his son. So I guess technically that is the conclusion, but the last shot's like some fucking Spider-Man shit where the fucking main Nazi's walking up the stairs like Phantasm. It's never over, boy. And then the fucking movie ends.
oh, we do get the son gets a little bit of redemption, Tom, because he gets a soliloquy where he, is coming out of the closet, and it's like, and celebrating that he can now finally be who he is. It's a very topical movie, I guess you could say. you know.
Who knew math was so gay, Joe? Who knew? Yeah, like this is an instant classic in my book. It's fucking up there as one of my favorite bad movies. If anybody asks for a Wings Hauser movie, this is going to be the first one that comes to mind. Vice Squad's good, Champagne and Bullets, Get Even is better.
Art of Dying.
Gang Boys, dog. Watch Gang Boys. You want some fucking wild, ridiculous shit where everybody appears to be on blow? Gang Boys. Holy shit. We laughed and laughed. We were shocked and amazed at what we were seeing and hearing. It was great. It was one of the most fun times I've had watching a movie in a while. And I want to give it a 5 out of 5, but it's fucking bullshit and just fucking ridiculous bullshit. So I can't, because, it's just what the fuck, guys. But 4 out of 5 ain't bad. And I'm going to call it a masterpiece.
I'm giving it my highest recommendation.
Yeah, check it out. It's terrific. Fucking terrific. God damn it. It was a good one. Oh, Joe.
Tom, last week we covered Peter Boyle in the masterpiece known as Joe. This time we're covering Peter Boyle in the masterpiece known as Crazy Joe. No, people, no, this is a mob movie. And old Joe, he's a bit crazy. He's part of this I don't know, I guess they call them soldiers, Tom, for the mob. They're the guys that are on the streets, collecting the money, enforcing shit on the territory. So it's him, the Fonz, yes, old Henry Winkler before he was the Fonz, and a couple of other guys that from watching mob, Well, these guys, they pull a hit at the beginning, and we're waiting to get paid on it, and well, shit, they pay them a pittance, Tom, a pittance, and they get upset by that. It's like, hey, wait a minute, we're the ones doing all the work. We should be paid more. So they kind of go to war against their own bosses, Tom. Kidnap them and shit. And well, you got to call in old Jackie Mason. No, Jackie Mason was busy, so they got Eli Wallach to play an Italian, and well, shit, the main guy, he's not Italian either, right? No. So for the main roles, fuck real Italians. Let's get some people that know how to act, and we'll give them the roles. Old Eli, the ugly from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, he's kind of like a negotiator for the mobs. He's got his own crew and family and everything, but he's trying to get everything back together. And well, shit kind of works out, but it kind of doesn't. They're still at each other's throats, and they set up old Crazy Joe. They set him up, Tom, and he goes off to prison. That's okay. While he's there, he starts reading books on philosophy, and he meets a friend, Tom. Well, Fred the Hammer is in the cell next to him. They become good buds. Hey, when we get out of stir, we're going to stay buds. Well, they do, Tom, and they form an alliance, so they can take over. They can take over everything, Yes, black and not quite so black because they're Italian together at last. Yeah. Meanwhile, the old guard has, kind of set up this coalition, to, I don't know, advance the Italian peoples in the eyes of America. Hey, we're not just a stereotype. Maron, we're people too, and it's just a way to make money and shit.
Joe, it's more relevant today than it ever was.
Yeah, because they're stopping Italians at the border right now.
Besides Italians, is there any other race that you can openly mock without blue-haired ladies screaming at you for it? No, because even they mock them with the this and the mama. Oh, it's fine. Fuck them. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And we get mad about it? No. She'll get yours, you fuck. You sleeping with the fishes, see?
This movie's long. You know, it's got some good shit in there. It's got nothing that's over the top and that's gonna make you laugh like out loud.
It
Except
has one thing. It has one thing. This dude knows that he's done for, and it's the end of the road for him. So he does some baller shit and drives off the end of the road. That was the only part I really liked besides Fred Williamson getting a paycheck.
some of the clothes they wear are funny, you know. But I'll say this: there's a lot of shit in here that other people used and used better. There's some stuff like in Goodfellas that, hey, holy shit, they lifted that from Crazy Joe, you know, and some other mob movies that I can't think of. But it's just like as you're watching it, it's like, okay, you know, they did this scene, they did it better, yeah, but that's this fucking scene right here, you know. So this, I'd just say it was influential, you know, although people probably wouldn't want to admit it. Uh, yeah, it's imitated. It's an imitated movie, Tom, but better duplicated.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking mob movie. If you like that shit, it's pretty by the books and is what it is. Check it out if you're into that shit. I'm not. You know, it was like, oh shit, Fred Williamson's in this suite, and meh, meh. I didn't really give a flying fuck.
I know, Tom. I know. But we're almost done with old Peter Boyle. We got one more called The Brinks Job, and that can be watched on YouTube.
I hope his character is named Joe. Hope so. And if not, you can't win them all. But you know what you can win, Joe? A key issue.
Key issue. Hold on, Tom. A little rundown. In Marvel Team Up 128, it was a Christmas issue. Spider-Man's teams up with the Watcher, who once again interferes with the affairs of man. In Spectacular Spider-Man 76, the Black Cat and Spider-Man's had just defeated the Owl and Dr. Octopus, but not his henchmen, and they shoot Black Cat, and he takes her to the hospital. And well, wait a minute. Oh shit, my finals are today. He goes and takes his finals. He comes back. Black Cat is okay.
Thank
But
fuck.
fuck. We're here for a key issue.
So do you have this one?
I do not have this one. Yeah, this is. I thought I did, but I have the next issue.
No, you fucked up somewhere.
Yeah. Um, this
Good cover. I'd say it's an iconic cover.
it's a good cover. I dig it. You know, the interiors. It's John Romita Jr. and John Romita Sr. doing the inks again, just like the last issue. And yeah, some guy that's fucking Spider-Man's. Let's go. I'm not gonna chase this guy. I got shit to do. Hey, god damn, you forgot what made you, man. You forgot what happened. You know, and he does regret that later. But this guy goes on to find a hidden basement under one of the Osborn warehouses. And in there is all of the Green Goblin shit. You know, costumes, goblin gliders, you know, the fucking pumpkin bombs and all that shit, and some mysterious figure. You know, this guy takes a mysterious figure to find all, you know, yeah, let's load up all this shit and get it out of here. He modifies it, Tom, and at the end reveals a new Marvel villain, the Hobgoblin.
Which that picture was pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
The reveal of the Hobgoblin. I also liked all the pictures of the pumpkin bombs because they're pumpkins, you see.
They do.
However, Joe, I don't know what the fuck Plastex is. Sorry, I don't think that's a real material. I think they were.
But in the mask making business of 1982 or whenever this came out, that's all anybody used.
No, it was probably like soft melt vinyl or latex.
Or plastic.
What is that? Plastic and latex combined? That makes no sense. Why would you do that? Oh, you wouldn't. I understand. And that mold, I don't know what the fuck that was.
Pretty good, huh?
No, it looked like it was like a mold that was cut down the middle going this way instead of this way, but the front opened up. So did they make like the world's fucking wackiest 3-piece mold for something that didn't need it? I don't think these fuckers know. They have an idea of the mask making fucking steps, but yeah, they said something like, "Oh yeah, we just altered the mold to make the mask more you'd probably just sculpt a whole new mask and then remold that instead of trying to reverse sculpt in a negative with stone and I don't know. Maybe he bleached the purple boots and the purple gloves and stuff and then dyed them. Because if you dyed purple orange, that wouldn't work. It wouldn't take, if you say. So they had ideas, but they didn't really know how it worked there, Joe.
I'm more concerned with who this shadowy figure that did all this is, Tom. Maybe
we'll find out.
You.
And then after we find out, I don't know, give it fucking 15, 20 years and find out, maybe it really wasn't him.
Maybe.
Fuck. Well, Joe, I can't wait to hear about this week's hit album. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, we didn't do an album again.
God damn it. I was going to do Eels. You remember that song, Novocaine for the Soul? No, it was a classic. Fuck. So next week we'll do the Eels album.
All right. Can't
wait. Yep. Hey, everybody. Thanks for whatever this is. You appreciate it. DWNProductions.net.
FastCustomShirts.com.
Thanks for checking this out. If you did, what you didn't. But until next time, Joe.
BOYGOB, everyone.
Wow! Thanks for checking out the show. We hope you dug it, baby. If so, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and let us know down below. Support Tom and Joe by heading over to DWNProductions.net and FastCustomShirts.com. Until next time.